What's up, you guys, and welcome back to my channel. It's Gabby, the Real Estate Bae, and today is all about breaking things down in steps for you. So let's talk about how to find your first rental property in 5 easy steps, even if you've never done it before. Let's get into it. If you're new to my channel, I'm Gabby, the Real Estate Bae, and I help new and first-time investors find and fund profitable real estate. Specifically, I work in the St. Louis market, but the tactics and strategies that we share on this channel can be used in any market. So there is a process, a proven process that you can use when you are first starting out and you're looking for a rental that is going to make you money over time and in an area that you can absolutely trust and you feel confident in. So the number one step that you want to focus on is going to lay the foundation for how everything else goes from here. And I know that it goes without being said, but I got to make sure that you guys are defining your goal. I find that when people want to start in real estate investing, they are very clouded by the noise. Should I do a long-term investment? Should I do short-term? Should I Airbnb? Should I do mobile homes? So you have to clearly define your goal. And if I can give you a little bit more, I want you to stick on just one goal for at least 90 days. So if you decide to do long-term real estate investing in the St. Louis market, I want you to work that plan at least 30 to 60 minutes every single day when you're starting out for 90 days. I like to say that typically in one season, if you've been consistent, that you will be successful. So now that we know that at the foundation of everything we're doing is defining our goals and being very clear on what we want the outcome to look like. I want you to get as granular as possible. I want you to think about how many bedrooms you want and what city, what location. Here is the trick about defining your goal. Oftentimes when I'm talking to people about their goals, they try to say, I want to do real estate investing and I'm looking in the Ohio market, I'm looking in the Detroit market, I'm looking in the Kansas market, and I'm looking in the Georgia market. That is not defining your goals. That will create a lot of noise because each one of those markets will produce something different. And so in the beginning, when you're defining your goals, you're going to pick one city you focus on for 90 days. You're going to pick one strategy you focus on 90 days. And you're going to work that plan every single day for 30 to 60 minutes. Now, included in your foundational plan, you can do things for 30 to 60 minutes like check out podcasts, figure out who's local in the area that you would like to work with, start to interview realtors or lenders that work in that area. All of that is encompassed or included in defining how we want to do this. One market, one exit strategy, and then when we focus, everything else begins to fill in. The second step in this process is finding a lender. So now that we know we are investing in one market and we're investing using one strategy, when we talk to the lender, we have clarity. So many times, you guys, I see new investors talking to a lender and they're like, well, I'm thinking about here. Do you also lend here? Do you also lend here? And what you're doing to that lender is you're making them back up a little bit from you because they can't trust that you're clear. And when they can't trust that you're clear, they're unsure if you're going to actually close. So as realtors, lenders, and brokers, we spend a lot of time doing a lot of work and not getting paid for it. So anytime somebody shows a sign that they're a little shaky on if they're going to do it, they're a little unfocused, we know that this person does not have clearly defined goals. You want to go into those lender conversations for your step 2, very clear on your goals so that they can give you accurate information, accurate estimates, and they can recall case studies from previous clients that have said things like this before that they've been able to work with successfully. The lender search process is probably one of the easiest because one thing I always tell new investors, for every lendee, so that's you and I who borrow money, there is a lender. I wouldn't care if your credit score was a 1. I remember one time when I started this business a few years ago, I was working with a lady and her mom, and I want to say her credit score, I didn't know this at the time, was in the 400s, and we found her a lender. Okay, so I'm just giving you an example. For every type of lending, you and I who need to borrow funds to grow and to build generational wealth, there is a lender out there. We just have to do our work and due diligence. This is why with the defining of our goals, we put in those mile markers every day, 30 to 60 minutes every single day. If you're looking for a lender and you're new to my channel, then you probably haven't heard me say this, but if you have heard me say this, then go do this right now. You're going to join Facebook groups in the market that you want to invest in. So I invest in the St. Louis market. So I go to St. Louis Real Estate Investing and St. Louis Real Estate Investors. I join those groups. There is a search engine at the top right corner of all Facebook groups. And you can type in lenders. You can also ask the Facebook group for a lender. It sounds like this. Hey, what's up, St. Louis real estate investors? My name is Gabby, and I am working on getting another deal or my first deal here in the St. Louis market. I'm looking for a lender who potentially can close in 21 days or less, and somebody that you guys would recommend. Let me know in the comments. Thanks in advance. So you can announce yourself and ask for people to share. Or you can simply use the search engine inside the Facebook group and search the word lender, search the word loan, and see what names come up. Once those names come up, it's all money from there. You're literally searching for those people on Facebook, you're searching for those people on LinkedIn, or you're searching for those people via Google, and then you can start booking calls on their calendars to understand what loan products make sense for your goals. So if I am investing in the Las Vegas market and I want to do short-term rentals, I'm going to ask my Facebook group specific questions around that for lending. And then once I have those answers, I'm going to book calls with those lenders to see what type of loan products they have for midterm new investors like myself. Once we have our goal set and we have our lender, step number 3 is finding your realtor. Y'all, this is so important. I personally think that the realtor is the most important component on the table. Maybe because I was a realtor and now I'm a real estate broker, but I think it is incredibly important and life-changing. And when you work with a realtor, here are some signs. She's actually going to already have a lender. She's actually already going to have client testimonials. She or he is actually already going to have handyman and people that she can refer you to in a title company, in a sewer company. Your realtor should really be the nucleus to your success in real estate investing. Now, unfortunately, realtors get a bad rap because people think we do no work and we make a lot of money, and that's simply not the case when you're working with an A-player realtor. One of the things you want to make sure that they are, now this will make or break your deal, is that they actually help investors. That's number 1. The second thing you want to make sure your realtor does in this component, you want to actually make sure that they are a real estate investor themselves. You are the realtor that sold you your $500,000 dream home or your $300,000 dream home is not the same realtor that's going to be able to negotiate with you in the trenches on an $80,000 investment property. The skills are not synonymous. Realtors who are investors typically have a higher business acumen and they can speak to real estate from a data-driven point of view and not an emotional point of view. I have seen so many people. I was talking to a client not too long ago and she said, Gabby, I was watching your videos and I wanted to start real estate investing. She's in the Virginia market. And she said, I reached out to the realtor that sold me the house that I live in. I said, how much is the house that you live in? She was like, $800,000. And I thought, well, if she sold me this house, surely she can sell me an affordable investment property. And she called that realtor and she told that realtor what her plan was, and she never heard from the realtor again. So I'm driving that point home and giving you a quick story because most realtors are not synonymous with investors. They understand very quickly if they're going to be able to do the work for you, if they're going to be able to make money and how much based on what you share. And then they decide that's not for me, find somebody else to do it. You are looking for someone who is an investor, someone that understands generational wealth, someone that understands buying something ugly and making it into something beautiful. You're going to ask clarifying questions, use ChatGPT if you need to, when you are screening your realtor. I say try to talk to at least 3 to 5 realtors that are going to be able to take what you are saying and clearly give you a roadmap to getting this done because they've done it time and time again. So now that we have our realtor, or in a perfect world, you have a realtor dream team, the very next thing you're going to do is identify and start analyzing real estate deals. Your realtor should set you up in the system so that you get deals at the top of every morning. So for example, once you've defined your goals, in the goal setting process, you probably know you want to spend $100,000, you want a 3-bedroom home, and you want 1.5 baths. I can put that in my system for you, and every time that type of home comes to the market, you're going to get an email on it. That way you're not wasting hours on Zillow or Redfin or worried about exactly where the home is or trying to understand if this home is going to be valuable or not. It is coming straight from the database of an actual licensed realtor or real estate and broker. Once you have those homes being sent to you, it's actually quite easy from here. You're going to do 2 things. The first thing you're going to do is go to rentometer.com. You're going to type in that address and the bedroom bathroom count, and you're going to get an estimate of where the rent should be. If the rents work for your numbers, because you know your numbers because you did step one, if the rents work or when the rents work, you're literally going to call your realtor and set up a walkthrough of the property, or you're going to ask her to see the property for you and send you pictures and videos of all the systems, the front and back, everything that she can see, including the basement and shots of the ceiling and the roof if she has a system to take pictures of the roof. This allows you to identify if this property, for example, for $100,000 is going to cost more money to hold and to renovate than it's even worth. So you want to make sure that that investing realtor is walking that property as a third-party advisor, letting you know this one looks like a good one, or we should walk. There's 3 or 4 vacancies on the street. I don't think this is a good rental neighborhood, or they're asking too much for what the neighborhood is worth. Again, as you see through that quick conversation, that realtor is a key component to making sure that you buy right. Let me give you another quick story. I was talking to somebody that did not know who I was. He was referred to me by another industry leader. And when I got on the phone with him, he said, Gabby, I bought a St. Louis property. I said, wow, congratulations. I love when you guys close on assets. I don't care if you buy them with me or not. I love when you all do this. And I said, how can I help you? And he said, I'm struggling a little bit to get it rented out. And I said, okay, well, send me the address. And we started chatting and I typed in the address and I noticed the very first thing, as soon as he told me the zip code and the street, I knew that he was on a more of an industrial commercial style street. And when I typed in his address in redfin.com of his rental, remember, he's having a hard time renting it out. It was next to a Popeye's chicken. I don't know about you, but when I'm looking for a property and he wanted $1,500 in rent for a 3-bedroom in St. Louis, never gonna happen. When I'm looking for a property, I'm not looking to live next to a Popeyes. So what happened in that scenario, Gabby? He chose a realtor that had great social media etiquette, but she was not an investing realtor. When she walked that home, more than likely, she did not show him that there was a Popeyes on that street, or he didn't do his due diligence, and she was just running the numbers based off what he said and not being an advisor to the exit strategy, which is to get paid. And now he's sitting with an asset at $1,500 in rent, and he has nobody that wants to rent it out. And worse, he has nobody even viewing the property because of where it's placed and how high the rent needs to be for him to make a profit. Again, that realtor is a key component, identifying and analyzing where the homes are, making sure that you're using Google Maps every single time you're interested in a home, and then also making sure that you do a full Google Maps sweep of the street so you understand how your tenant would be living and what type of tenants that you would attract. So step 5 is the very last step, and this is how we make confident offers. So there are such thing as really good offers that come in, and there's such thing as mediocres that offers that come in. As a person that lists real estate on a monthly basis, I see people try to buy my clients' homes all the time, and I can quickly pick up if this person is putting in a confident and a clear offer, or if this person is just throwing anything together and they're not even reading the documentation and doing it with accuracy. When that happens, that lets me know as the person on the other side, and I tell my client, this person is a little sloppy, this process is going to be a little clunky. And sometimes my clients say, decline based off of what you said. I need something that's smooth so I can sell an asset with accuracy. So here's a few steps on how to put in a confident offer. The number one thing that I want to make sure that you are doing or having your realtor partner do is all offers accompany a phone call. I cannot tell you how many times I get offers over to my desk in the middle of the night and I never hear from the realtor on the other side. I just think to myself, if I never checked my email, or if I get a lot of emails and that email is buried, I would never know that you send in an offer. When your realtor sends in an offer, you're going to request them to call and say these things on your behalf. Of course, they need to make sense for your package. Here's an example. Hi, my name is Gabby, and I'm actually representing Devin in the St. Louis market. And we just put in an offer for your home at 123 Smith Street. Now, I know you were wanting $100,000. My client was able to review all of the data, and I think it's a great asset, but I think we got to come in at around $92,000. I wanted to get you over a verbal before we wasted any time, and I wanted to see if you can give me any indication if your client would be attracted to something like that. The goal with that is the rhetoric that I'm using, or the words that I'm using, and the inflection in my voice is what? Confident. I talk with speed, but I talk with accuracy, and I'm not trying to pull the wool over anybody's eyes. I'm actually trying to win some time back, because if your client doesn't take $92,000, I'm going to go tell my client to raise his price or to walk. So the realtor on the other side, 1,000,000% of the time, appreciates a phone call. Y'all, we do this full time 8 days a week. And so when somebody calls us and they lay out the offer, it is so important. So more than likely the realtor on the other side is saying, you know what, send it to me and I'll let you know how it goes. And so after that, I'm going to say these words. Great. So I want to add in a few more things because I think that speed really does matter when we talk about getting these off your desk. My lender can close this file in 15 days or less. And so we're going to be able to get this done in no time. We're not going to do a long drawn out inspection period. We're going to do that just for our due diligence. And then of course, we're going to have earnest money turned in the next 12 hours. So speed is definitely our friend when it comes to closing with Devin. He's a serious buyer and he's extremely interested in the asset. What did I just do there? I just let them know that not only am I an A player, but my client is an A player. If you want a little bonus, I want to share this with you all really quickly. If you find yourself putting in offers and you're like, man, the realtor that I'm using in Ohio or Las Vegas or since the realtors I'm using, I'm not getting offers accepted. Try this one strategy. Just add this in there. You want to have your lender partner do a video and your realtor send in the video bragging on you to every seller you put an offer in. It looks like this. Your lender is going to put a phone up. They're going to say, hey, I see you got an offer coming in for my client, Devin, and he is absolutely amazing. I just want you to know that I can close this home in 15 days or less. Devin has the cash in the bank to close this home. I have nothing to do but to close deals all day. If you have any questions, hit me back here. But I look forward to closing this property with you. Your realtor on the other side is going to be so blown away at how confident you put that offer in. There is a 99.9% chance if the offer is valued correctly and it's not a 50-cent offer, they're going to say yes because you have padded this experience for them, making sure they understand that you are not only serious, but you're credible and you're confident. Those things matter in real estate investing. All right, you all. So those are the 5 steps on how to close or find your first property, no matter where you are and no matter what the experience is. I hope this video helped you understand that there are different tweaks that you can make along the process. And I hope this video highlights who your nucleus should be and how everybody on your team should be working together so that you are closed. If you want me to do any other videos or have any other topic ideas, drop it in the comments below and I'll see you all next week.